Our review of the Jaguars 2020 draft class continues, and the Jaguars in the fifth round selected Daniel Thomas, a safety from Auburn University, and the head coach of the Auburn Tigers is with us now, Gus Malzahn. Coach, good to see you. How you doing?
Hey, doing good.
Appreciate your time. This is certainly a challenging time for all of us. I'm working at home. I don't know if you have the Auburn logo on the background at your house, but a lot of your staff is working at home right now. How has this been for your football program? No spring ball, a lot of questions about the fall. How are your staff and players getting along through this time?
Yeah, obviously it's been a unique time, I think, for everyone. And, not having spring practice, our guys all spread out. Probably about 2 weeks ago, we actually started getting a routine, and our guys are finishing up finals this week. And, staff-wise, we're flipping the switch. We're thinking positive. We're thinking about, when we get our guys back in the summer and getting ready to play the season.
Coach, 16 players from your program have been drafted over the last 3 years. That's the best from Auburn's since 89 to 91. That's a long time ago now. But part of program success, obviously, is winning football games, winning the division, and winning the SEC and moving on from there. But seeing players go pro, 6 Auburn players drafted this year. That tells you a lot about where your program is right now.
Yeah, it really does. We're very excited, about the guys. And the thing about it, the guys have been drafted, done very well at the next level. We had 6 drafted this year. We had 8 free agents, which I think there's going to be a handful of those guys are going to have a real chance to make a team. So real good time right now to be an Auburn Tiger.
Head coach Gus Malzahn with us from the Auburn Tigers. Let's talk about Daniel Thomas. And I was reading about his recruitment story. It's pretty interesting. He was a late addition to that signing class and was about to go to Minnesota, of all places. A guy from Montgomery, Alabama, Lee High School, was about to go to Minneapolis. Instead, you bring him in late. Take us through that process and how close of a call was that for you?
Yeah, of course, he's right down the road, so we knew about him. Brought him in on an official visit the last weekend, and you can just kind of tell his positive energy. Got a chance to meet his family that weekend too. And so after he left, we wanted to make this thing work. And luckily the numbers worked out. We were able to make that call, I think about 7:30 Wednesday morning. And, he was overjoyed. His mom was on the phone crying. It was a real special moment. For him to be drafted now, it's just a real special deal.
From that moment when he set foot on campus in Auburn to now, how much did he grow? Let's start off the field. As a person, what kind of person did he become in those years at Auburn?
I'll tell you what, you're getting an unbelievable leader, such a positive person, a very spiritual person. He'll send Bible verses out every day, to the team and the staff. He's our FCA leader. Me and my wife, we take guys on mission trips in the spring, and he went back-to-back years, and just a wonderful human being that's going to bring a lot of positivity to that locker room.
Gus Malzahn with us, head coach of the Auburn Tigers. Now on the field, he was paired up with Jeremiah Denson at the safety position the last couple of years. That was a good tag team combo in the back end of your defense there. He was second on the team in tackles the last 2 years. What kind of player will the Jaguars get at the safety position and on special teams as well?
Yeah, I call him the heat-seeking missile. He just has a nose for the ball. And he's a very good tackler, a good open field tackler, a great competitor, and he's experienced. You're talking about a guy that's been in a lot of big games, understands the game, understands situations, and you just said it, special teams. He's one of our better special teams players, and he took special teams just as, serious as he did defense. He was one of our special teams leaders, and, I can't say enough good things about him. He's got a chance to play in the league a long, long time.
What was the best moment that you remember from him on the field? Is it that Iron Bowl, his first time out, a couple of picks against Hurts, or is there something later in his career that stands out for you?
Well, I tell you what, you just said it. Like, you start out as a true freshman in the Iron Bowl on the road, 2 interceptions. He grew up in the state. He understands how big that is, and that really just laid the groundwork for him from a confidence standpoint that, hey, not only can I play in this league, but I can play very high level. And then after that, really the next 3 years, it was just like he turned into one of our leaders, a guy that you can count on, that has so much character. He loves practicing. He loves the game of football. Like I said, I can't say enough good things.
Coach Malzahn, is it the leadership part of the way he goes around and does his business? Is it more of a vocal leadership? Is it by example, a mixture? What's that personality like?
Well, really, it's by example, first of all. But this year, being a senior, he was on my leadership committee, and then he started to become more vocal. And he's the type that, he's not going to say a whole lot, but when he does, everybody listens. And they have so much respect for him as a person, as a player. Everyone is rooting for Daniel Thomas.
Coach, a couple more minutes with you here, and I've got to ask you while we have you on here about a couple of other SEC players that the Jaguars drafted on the defensive side of the football. You're, of course, noted for your offensive prowess there as the head coach of the Auburn Tigers. So let's start with C.J. Henderson. You saw Florida last year. I think he had 3 passes defensed in that game, the cornerback out of Florida. What kind of corner, and how did you have to adjust when you saw him on the outside?
Yeah, he was a guy that we definitely game planned around and tried to be very smart because we knew he had big playability. He just such a confident player. And so, that was a big factor. We were trying to game plan around him, and there was one of the defensive linemen that really were the 2 keys we felt like in being successful, but a dynamic player.
K'Lavon Chaisson, the other Jaguars first-round pick. As we sit here and talk today, the guy is 20 years old, and he's a first-round pick in the NFL. He'll be 21. So there's a lot of tread left on the tires there for the Jaguars at least. But what kind of impact did he make the last couple of years in the SEC?
We were always concerned about him rushing the passer. He's long, he's fast, very explosive. And this past year, he got a lot better against the run. So you're talking about a really, really good player that has a lot of upside. And like I said, he's scary when you go against him, rushing the passer.
And finally, Dontavius Russell is here with the Jaguars as well, a draft pick late last year. Got to get him on the field a little bit, but he's working his way up, and we're glad to have him around here for sure.
Yeah, Dontavius is one of my all-time favorites. You're talking about a guy that's just so steady. He played really good for us. He's one of those guys that's just steady, consistent. He gets overlooked, I think. I think he was a lot better than the attention that he got while he was here, and probably even with you guys too. But very good football player, very steady, consistent. So I can't say enough good things about Dontavius either.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Really, really appreciate it. And good luck to you the rest of the way here.
Hey, thanks for having me.